Okay, now that we're back in ZBrush, we're going to go to Document, turn off Pro, change our document size to 2048 by 2048, and we should be good. That's just a good habit to get into when you're rendering, because I've created textures and stuff in ZBrush before at the incorrect document size, and that's a huge bummer because then you have to basically start over. So I'm going to go ahead and import my mesh wherever your directory is that you saved it to. I have it here in Meshes for Baking. Not necessarily the best place, but this is just a quick reference. It's fine. We'll probably be iterating on this in the future, or just re-exporting based on whatever we have in UDK. We're not too worried about textures or anything like that, or UVs, because we're going to keep changing it. Here I'm basically selecting by mask and just growing it, because it seems like it didn't really adhere to my separate selection. I know there's a way to do it, but I did it wrong. So basically just select it and grow selection, and then split mask points, and that'll separate it out. So now it's a separate object. So that way when I Dynamesh and stuff and I paint, I won't accidentally paint on what I'm using as a reference. Okay, now that I have that separated, I'm going to need to go down. Well, first of all, save it, of course, because whenever you Dynamesh or do anything, it could crash. It's not as bad as Camtasia, but it can be pretty finicky. Go to Dynamesh and Dynamesh that, maybe too low res. So I'm going to bump it up to about 500 and Dynamesh that. On the top right, you see total points goes from 19,000 up to 600,000. So that's a lot better for working with when we're just painting. And see, this polyframe will show you a rough approximation of your geometry. So I'm just checking my settings up here for painting. RGB, mRGB, material off. Go to freehand, and I'm just going to stick with what I had in the first place, I think, which was standard, and go Z sub with like half intensity or intensity 25 or so. Accidentally minimized. Okay, now just get everything set up the way you like it. Nice trick to center something is alt click, and that'll basically center your camera's rotation around that point, that invisible point that you clicked at. As you can see, I'm struggling with it here, so I'm just clicking there, and then I'm able to kind of start working it a little bit. This is a pretty giant shape, so it can be kind of a pain to get started with, but that's okay because it just needs to sort of roughly follow the shape of a path we want to do. We can always retopologize it in Maya or whatever, which is what we'll probably do. Accidentally paint it on the other layer, so you want to make sure you have the right one highlighted. Yeah, I figured I'll just sort of paint a basic pathway here and some hills and bluffs. I'm gonna actually speed it up a little bit here. This is mostly just Z add and Z sub as I paint. If you'll notice, I'm kind of leaving a lot of the space around where I've placed stuff alone, and that's good because we want to create a little bit of erosion around these. See, I'm adding a little bit in the cracks there and subtracting wherever I don't want it. I'm using the move tool. You just, wherever you click the move and pull, it'll just pull it straight out from there, which is what I'm doing to add some hills. So this forest will be a little bit hilly, so it's like on the side of a mountain or something, which is what the reference is. So it's kind of like got some little slightly raised areas, really high areas. We'll probably add beyond there, but for now this is a good start. We're only worried about the foreground and midground right now. I might as well keep it pretty squared off for now. I can always clean it up later. I know it's really fast, but you know, that's all you needed. Just paint in the valleys and paint around your main objects, re-Dynamesh. And here I'm going to Z-remesher now that I have a shape I like. And that's a great way to retopologize. As you can see, retopologize at a relatively low resolution. export your mesh to bring back into Maya.